I could feel your fire backstage. Who's fired up to be here today, ladies and gentlemen? I want to honor you. You and I both can imagine how many people saw the invitation to be here, but you're here. You showed up. You're doing the work. And if you're pumped to be here, put both hands in the air and say, I'm here. Let's go. Let's go. I have the blessing today to talk to you about getting that drive back, getting that energy back, taking back the leadership of your life once more at a higher level of vibrancy. Who's ready for that today? The truth is, and you all have seen it, the last couple years, a lot of people, they lost their clarity. They lost their momentum. They got stuck. They got discouraged. There were so many new things to try. People tried all these new things. Sometimes it didn't work out, and they got so discouraged, they downshifted their presence, their energy, how they show up as a mom, how they show up as a dad, how they show up at work, how they treat people. Who's felt a little bit, not in this room, but a little bit of a low energy out there in the world? Anyone sense that sometimes? Doesn't feel good, does it? And sometimes when that's you, and you find yourself coasting, and you're like, what's going on? I used to be so driven in this career over here. I used to get up so motivated on Monday, and I just crush it. I could stay focused. I'd get so much done all week long. I was amazing. And then sometimes now you go, what the heck is wrong with me? Or you say, I wonder what's on Netflix. Or you click that one tab, or that one browser, or that one link, and all of a sudden you're clicking all over the place. And about 3 hours later, you kind of look at the computer, there's all these tabs open. You see you've watched a bunch of videos, you kind of snap out, you don't even know where you've been the last 3 hours. You look down, you're naked in front of the computer. You're like, what is it? Just me? I guess I got a room full of high performers here. I think it's true. I could feel it backstage. Everyone could sense the energy from this morning. And I just want to share with you this morning, the energy you have in here, it is palpable. I spend my life doing this, and I could hear it and feel it. It was like hitting my heart backstage. So there's something happening in Vegas right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're happy to be here, would you do, so rare that we actually celebrate in the process. You kind of wait until the end. And I think you should celebrate each other because you did show up, you are doing the work. So would you turn to the person to your left or right, grab their shoulders, shake them, and thank them for being here. Just thank them, just thank them. There's a lot of joy in this room. And what I want to do is spend my short time with you here today to break that number one question everyone in this room has, whether you know you consciously have it or you've been struggling with it. And that question is, how do you break through to that next level? How do you do it? For those who don't know my story, this is all I've done for 20 years is obsess about that simple question. All of our research, all of my books, 1 billion video views, 100 million downloads, all the New York Times best-selling work, and every person I've coached with, whether taught their team, trained them, Oprah, Usher, people who performed in this stadium before me, in getting to know them, they all struggle with the same 5 things I'm gonna teach you today. So this is the note-taking session, and I would call this a little bit of an advanced session. Right? Especially for day one, we're just gonna solve that problem of why does sometimes your drive downshift into discouragement? Why is it sometimes you crush it on Monday and you are out of gas on Tuesday? You call all your people. You gotta make some calls. 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 And by Tuesday, you're like, I'm not picking up the phone ever again. You finish Wednesday on your 17th Zoom for the day, and you're like zoomed out. And you can't imagine how you're gonna get to Thursday morning without a bottle of wine. You're just like, what? And our job is to get into your psychology a little bit and help you break through, not based on just my story or my presuppositions, but rather the work we've done with Olympians, the work I've done with the highest performing people in the world. I currently coach 4 billionaires every week for the last 6 years. I kind of get what it takes to shift you into a different level, but it's actually not that advanced because we all struggle with the same thing. We just don't often know what we want, and then we lose hold of it. And then worse, especially for this group, I said you're advanced, so this is not flippant in any way. You're already successful. In some way, to get in a room like this, someone like this sitting next to you who've dedicated themselves to the personal development of being here, who want to build their business, there's a level of success you already have, which can be the most dangerous thing because you're like, I'm kind of good. You know, I did make some calls today. I got that Netflix season I've been watching. Notice you used to say show, but now you say season. They got you good. They got you. I gotta finish the season. But it's 2:00, babe. It's 2:00. You gotta recalibrate and realign and re-energize yourself to plow through and make that day phenomenal. That's the job. You have to ready yourself, not just in the morning, throughout the day. I can predict your performance based on research, based on how many little pit stops you're taking throughout the day to recalibrate and re-energize yourself. For those who just burn through the entire day, we can predict you'll burn out, you'll top out, and you'll plateau, even if it's a good level. But for you, you top out. We have to learn to recalibrate ourselves throughout the day, and I'm hoping that the 5 things I'll share today will kind of help you figure out how to do that. Just to kind of recenter yourself throughout the day so that every day you finish that day, like, I actually gave my best. I feel fulfilled. I feel energized for tomorrow. How many people, if you'll be honest, you sense that lack of drive or motivation or productivity at some part of the last 5 years slowed you down? Yeah? Okay. I like to gauge how many liars in a room before I start the thing. Because some of you are sitting next to your leader and you went to raise your hand, you're like, oh, I saw you twitching. You wanted to raise your hand, but you thought that might be diminishing of your identity. I'd like to share a simple concept today that we're gonna start with to get your drive back. You've got to take this moment here. Not because I say it, not because anyone's gonna come up on stage and tell you, but you've got to take the moment here, today, now, to ready yourself for a different gear, for a different level of leadership, a different level of success. And I know that sounds cliche for some of you who might not know our work yet, but I want to share with you just a simple idea. This day, this type of thing, you took the time to come here, this must be like a demarcation line in your performance when you go home. This has to be one of those things. I went to convention and I doubled. Who's ready? That's what it's gotta be. It can't be like, Vegas was nice. No, it's a turning point. Everyone say it with me. It's a turning point. Everyone turn the person left, right, shake them, say, Vegas is a turning point. Oh no, yeah, even you in the front row, grab the person left, right, grab their shoulders, shake them, say, a turning point. A turning point. Listen, the beauty of life is either because of your consciousness, your free will, your drive, your enthusiasm, your love to serve other people. The beauty of life is that turning point is something you will choose, you will decide, you will take. You will define, or life will do it subtly to you. And then one day you look back and you're like, the turning point of my downfall actually began 5 years ago when I lost my discipline. And if it's not a subtlety, life will smack you right in the head and go, it's time to change, kid. Who's ever had one of those moments? Yeah, psychologists call it a critical incidence. Sometimes I just call it, I'm from Montana, I'm a simple guy. It's getting your ass kicked a little bit by life. Who's got their ass kicked a little bit just by life in the last couple of years? Anyone? Yeah. Listen, it's the only reason I'm on this stage. For those who don't know my story, I never knew I would do something like this. How I grew up, this would terrify me. And where I grew up and who I was when I grew up, this would terrify me. Now, some of you know, I'm one of maybe 5 speakers in history to have done the Arena Slam. If you don't know what that means, I've keynoted every major arena in North America. It's like our Grand Slam. It's like a thing, Yeah, it's weird. I think there's 5 of us in history, so it's not a common thing. I didn't think I would do this. For those who don't know how the story began, if you haven't seen me, I wish I could say it was fancy, but it was terrifying. I got into personal growth and success, just like many of you did, because my life wasn't where I wanted it to be, and I was young. My story began when I was a 19-year-old high school kid in Montana. And one person, Montana, okay? It is a United States state. It's the 4th largest one by land mass, but still maybe only 1 million people live there. It's very popular because of Yellowstone now, so we appreciate, at least some people know, but I don't own a horse. Okay. So the worst thing happened for me at my maturity level in high school. I fell in love. And I fell in love with my high school sweetheart. We thought we were gonna get married. I was gonna stay in my hometown, which is a small town, and I was gonna become a landscaper. I was already pushing the mower and I already making enough money to buy a used car, a 1988 Nissan Sentra that was four colors of Bondo. But I had a car, and she wanted to go to college. I didn't, but I was so in love. I said, I'd go to college with her, I guess. I didn't know what to do with my life. None of my family had ever been to a 4-year college, so I didn't really know much about it. But she wanted to go. I said, okay. So I welded a hitch to the back of that 1988 Nissan Sentra, and I hitched up a U-Haul, a little 6x9 U-Haul, and I went over Rogers Pass, which is the Rocky Mountain Pass, with all of our stuff in the back of it. We moved into the same door, and yeah, some of the guys are laughing because you're like, you don't hitch anything to a 1988 Nissan Sentra, just so you know, and pull it up a Rocky Mountain. Don't do that. Well, we go to school together, and because I don't know what I want to do, we sign up for all our classes together. We have the same friends from school there. I don't have a major, so I take the same major she has. I don't know. And my whole life is ingrained. Well, then halfway through the semester, she discovered beer and other boys, and she cheated. Wow, thank you. I'm gonna send her that audio. No, I'm teasing. Okay. I had a point. Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I told you the worst thing that could happen to me, because the truth is, as a 19-year-old man, I grew up in a very violent place. I grew up in an economically depressed mining town. My parents working full-time between the two of them, never made $40,000 a year, even until my dad passed. We just didn't have a lot, and they were always working so hard, but we just didn't have a lot. And the truth is, where I grew up, there was a lot of alcoholism and difficulty, and the way you got punished, even in school back then, was you got smacked where I grew up. It's a small town. Well, because of all that, I didn't have a lot of emotional maturity, let's call it. So when that relationship ended, I didn't have the emotional tools to deal with it. Have you ever been in a place where all of your identity is tied up into a relationship, and then the relationship ends, and you don't know how to deal with it because you were so tied up into it? So the relationship falls apart. I fall apart. I fall into deep depression. I can't get out of my college dorm room. I'm eating terrible food. My friends are coming over. They're trying to motivate me to get up and come to class or go out. I can't do anything. I just sit there miserable in my own filth, which I know is not totally abnormal for a college freshman, but I was in the depths of despair. I didn't want to go to class because she was there. I didn't want to go to the bar because she was there. I didn't want to hang out with my friends because she was there. And so I just laid there in my filth. That depression became suicidal ideation. And then I started planning to take my life. And fortunately, two things really changed my life. One was I was always a reader. I always read books. I was a bookish kid. I'm a bigger nerd than you even think. I know you think I'm a geek already, but it's way bigger than that. This is my professional. Okay. So I would read, and my friends would come and they'd throw the school newspaper or a book on my bed, trying to, come on, Brendon. And one day I picked up the school newspaper and I was flipping through it, and right there, this huge full-page ad changed my life forever. I still remember what it looked like. It was a white sandy beach, perfect turquoise waters, blue sky, a little wisp of a cloud, big palm tree with green blasting leaves, and then across the headline, the best marketing copy it I'd ever seen, perfect for a kid like me. Across the top, it said, "Escape." Yeah. Summertime jobs available for students in the Dominican Republic. Now, you all caught the part I'm from Montana. I didn't know where that was, but I knew she wouldn't be there. So I take the job. I go down with an entrepreneur and a friend that I knew, and I basically become like a glorified tour guide. I'm showing people around the island. I'm taking them scuba diving. I'm taking them out to the beach. I'm taking them shopping. I'm taking them around the resorts. And one night, my friend and I, Kevin, we're returning from the client's house. It's late at night. He hops in the driver's side. We're cruising down this road, 85 miles an hour. And I'll tell you, all the windows were down, and that fresh, humid Dominican air is coming in at night. I mean, we're flying down the road. On the radio is that song by Tom Cochrane, "Life is a highway, I wanna ride it." Only the gray-haired knew what that. It's okay, me too. It's okay, but we're proud of it. Hey, look at my Insta. Backstage, they have a picture of the MGM Garden Arena and Def Leppard, and that was the first one I took, not the Drake one, the Def Leppard one. So I'm just telling you, I got some grades. Okay. So the song is playing. We're going down this road. We're at the top of our lungs singing the song, and that depressed kid, I feel like he's flying away. We're going down the road, sing at the top, and we come upon a corner that in the United States would have had one of those big, sharp U-turn shaped arrows, yellow sign, sharp corner, slow down, 15 miles an hour, danger. We're going 85. We go around the corner. Kevin, I just see him. I look over. He grabs the wheel. "Brendon, hold on." He grabs the wheel. And I brace like this. And what happened at that corner became the turning point that brought me here for you today. Changed my life forever. We go in that corner and I brace, and I remember thinking later about what was happening. When you're sliding into death's doorway and you feel that terror of life, that fear is just a simple impulse. It's a question. It's like the generation of caring about life, and you just wonder, if this is it, did I live? If you have a moment of cognition before you crash into death's doorway, you wonder if you lived. And it is scary when life is threatened if you don't know that you did. Everyone in this room, you have to know one of the essential questions at the end of your life will be, did I live it? Did I live my life? My life, authentically, vibrantly, joyously, purposefully? Was I present and really alive? Aliveness is what everybody wants right now, but they don't know what they're chasing. It's that present and that vibrancy, that enthusiasm. We gotta have it. The car starts skidding sideways. Kevin's screaming, I'm screaming, both did like this. The car starts shimmering sideways and that slow motion thing happens. Some of you know what I mean. We're 85 miles an hour. It was like this, but it went so slow in my mind. We slid off the road and we hit this little retainer wall, rocks and bricks and boulders that they were using to irrigate a nearby sugarcane field. We hit it, boom, 85 miles an hour, pop, car pops up, bam. I hit my head on the door. And I start seeing all these images. It's not like in the movies where it was this omniscient viewpoint. I could see little Brendon growing up and getting more handsome. I don't know. Actually, I saw scenes through my life from my eyes. So it was like at my 12th grade birthday, there was the table in front of me, the cake in front of me, my mom singing that goofy song. My friend's trying to keep up. I saw a scene, I was looking over and my sister was swinging next to me in our backyard swing set my dad had built. And we were swinging and smiling. And I could just see her and I could feel this ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Because when you build that backyard swing set, that one pole always comes out. And what happens for you is you start seeing scenes in your life when you're surrounded by people you love. And it makes you wonder, did I love? Did I love? Did I live through my heart? And of course, I hated the even impulse or thinking of it, because you do think who's gonna miss you in a split second and who you're gonna miss in a split second because you see their faces. At least that's what happened for me. And if that's true, for me, I hadn't felt my heart in months. I was brokenhearted, so I pushed everyone away, because sometimes when you're hurt, you build up all these walls to block out the bad guys. But in building up those walls, who else do you block out? The good guys. Sometimes in your own heartbreak, you block out the next levels of love and joy and life for yourself, and that was true for me. The car hits the ground, rolls several times. I get completely knocked out. When I come to, Kevin is screaming at the top of his lungs, Brendon, get out of the car, get out of the car. I look over and his eyes are wild and open like this and his head is open. Get out of the car. And he climbs out the driver's side window. I'm in shock. I don't know what's happening. Is the car blowing up? Are we on fire? What's happening? He's screaming, screaming, screaming. I go to get outside the door. It won't open. I go outside the window. It's not open. All I have is in front of me is this windshield. And so I push through the windshield and I stand on the crumpled hood of this car, looking down, and he's screaming, but now his sound is going away because I'm faint and I'm in shock. I feel like I'm gonna pass out, and I just feel like life draining out of me with all this blood now going onto the hood of the car. And I looked down, I thought, did I even matter? Was there a reason I was here? I almost passed out, and I looked down, and there was a glint, a reflection on the hood of the car where the blood was going off, and it made me look up. And there was this bright, big, beautiful moon that night. I'd never even seen it that night earlier, but the blueness was emanating across the whole sky. And I looked up and I connected, and I just felt this immediate peace that I was gonna be okay. I took a breath, and I had this moment that later on, I called Life's Golden Ticket. It was my first book. I felt like the big guy had reached down and handed me Life's Golden Ticket, like a second pass, like a second chance, It was like, here you go, son. You can still live, you can still love, you can still matter, but now you know the clock is ticking. And I remember getting that moment, that ticket, that breath, that feeling I was gonna be okay. And I just remember saying, thank you, God. And I just felt like I will earn this. I will earn this life. I will earn this second chance. I will earn this opportunity. I will earn this breath. I will earn this time you've given me, God. I will work for it. I will show up for it. I want more scenes of love in my life. I want to live my life. I want to do something with my life. I didn't know what to do. I was 19, but now I know the clock is ticking. God, I am in this game. And that second on that hood is what changed my life. That's very second. I don't want to ruin the story for anybody. I lived. I'm okay. I'm still here. And so are you. Raise your hand, say, I'm here. Kevin, my friend, and I, we both survived. Lots of blood, lots of injuries. By the time I went back to school, back into college, that scared young man who didn't know anybody, now I was alive. Everyone started going, just like you've had it in your life, what's wrong with you? Did you drink the Kool-Aid down there in Dominican? What's wrong with you? You're so alive. I said, what's wrong with you? You're so dead. When you make a change in your life, a lot of people won't get it. But I was a depressed kid. I came back a kid in spirit, in life, ready. And I made a decision. And I want to give you this first thing, because you got to do this every day. And here it is, this first slide. You need to make this day a turning point. If you didn't know it, what you want more right now is more aliveness. If you didn't know it, you want more love. If you didn't know it, you want more meaning, to matter, to make a difference. But here's the deal. Many people will leave an event like this, and they didn't make it the turning point. Do you know how many arenas around the world I told my car accident story? Someone comes up to me afterwards, a great leader, a CEO, Brendon, I also had a car accident that threatened my life, but I didn't change after it. I met people from around the world who had major, scary situations and traumas and dramas, and they didn't change. And it's always like, well, why didn't they change? And everyone wants to pile all the psychology on it, which is fine too. And sometimes we need support. We'll talk about that. But the truth is, many people will never make the demarcation line go, on this side, I am different from this day, from now on, let's go, higher gear, live life, make a difference, change the world. If that's you, say, I'm here. If that's you, say, I'm ready. Because at some point, that's the difference. You decide. Some of you are gonna decide you're gonna go get licensed and you're gonna go all in and you're gonna make this happen, and it's gonna change your life, change your family's life, and change other people's life as a ripple effect forever. Forever. Some of you will go in that strength, in that decision. I'm all in. Let's do this. Let's get back in it. Some of you leaders, when you've been dogging it a little bit, the truth is, you had a turning point. You made a lot. You had a good success turning point, but then you never made a new one. So you're coasting. You need to make yourself a decision. That's what this is for. Not from me, for you. You got your journal. I don't need to tell you your answer. You already know it. Most of you are more successful than me already. You have to decide now what's the next level for you. And you've got to drive yourself for that. That's the secret. Some people don't make those demarcation lines in life. I said, I will no longer be a sad, angry, disgruntled young man who can't handle his emotions, who doesn't have any goals, who treats people bad. No, and that's what got me studying personal development. Just like all of you, the Napoleon Hills and the Dale Carnegies and the Earl Nightingales and the Jim Rohns and the Wayne Dyers, Brian Tracy's. I went deep on the Les Brown. I've traveled the world with these guys. I went in just like many of you did. And I just decided I wanted to make it a career. And so I started studying it in academics. Then I started rolling out in corporate America. Then I started writing my books. But before all of that was a decision, a simple decision. What's the decision you're gonna make to double down today and be more successful at this? You took all the time to be here. Set the line. This is the line. 1 year from now, you look back and go, Vegas convention, that's when I went all in. Vegas convention, that moment, that's when I became a millionaire. That was the moment. I didn't even know it. That was the time I doubled my sale. I didn't even know it. You planted the seeds here. You go home and do the work. Who's ready? Say, I'm ready. That's what you gotta do. Sometimes, though, you need to also find somebody to fight for on this journey. because it's gonna be hard, as you heard the previous speakers talk about. When I decided I wanted to go into this career, which is becoming a writer and a coach and a teacher, I left a good job. It was a good job, and went into the new space, a new opportunity, right? And here's the truth. When I first started, I didn't have any money. I had to move in with my then girlfriend. She ended up having to buy all the groceries and supporting me as I wanted to become a writer. Every day she would go to a real job. Don't you love that phrase? Real job? She would go to the real job, and I would sit in our apartment at this little fold-out table where the bed was like my extended desk. So I had this little laptop I was borrowing, and on the desk were my notes, my vision boards, my research, my credit card bills, my bankruptcy papers. I was going down fast. I didn't know how to do it. So I got discouraged. Sometimes when you don't know what to do, you don't listen to your mentors and other leaders here. You don't know what to do, but you sit in silence and you don't know what to do versus asking for help. And that was me. So every day she would leave, I would pretend to write that day. I couldn't get inspired, so I'd go for a walk, pretending that the walk would inspire me to write. I would go to famous cafes in San Francisco where all the fancy writers had written, trying to rub butts on the seat with them. I don't know what I was trying to do. Why do people think that? I'd order the fancy croissants because they'd all have green teas and croissants. And I was like, oh, I guess that's what writers do. And I'd sit there and fake it, going through the motions. And then I'd go home and I'd be working. She'd come home late from her commute. And I would, how's it going? Great, honey. How'd you do? Got a lot done. Amazing. Months go by. I'm not breaking through. I'm faking it. I'm not doing the work. Why? I want you to listen to this. I grew up broke. I grew up with no expectations. Old Irish mining town, mostly alcoholic community. I didn't have anything. The problem is, as many of you know, sometimes when you don't have anything, you're real good at just surviving. Because you've done it. You saw your family. You just survived. I was just surviving. Hey, someone was paying rent. I had something to do during the day, but I wasn't in it. Then one night, my girlfriend comes home. It's late. I pretend to start writing. She comes in. I have all this stuff on my bed, all the bills, all the research, all the vision boards. She comes in, kisses me on the forehead to go to bed. Oh, yeah, honey, great day. So she goes to get under the covers and go to bed, and I happen to look over, and she's getting under the covers very slowly so she doesn't disrupt the papers on top of her. And I look over and see my love sleeping under the weight of my bills. And it was just like, because none of us want to see our own inaction be the cause of pain for our families. But that was the truth. I was faking it. Some of you are faking it. You haven't made a demarcation line, a decision point. And I'm not here preaching. I did it too. And then that night, I see her sleeping under the bills. And I just looked over, like, no. I'm not gonna let the love of my life be stuck there. I gotta fight for us. And that night, I started writing. It just started happening. Because I was gonna fight for her. I wasn't gonna survive for me. I was gonna fight for my family. Who knows what I'm talking about? You better know what I'm talking about. Start writing. That night, that night, that night, that night, that week, that month, boom, #1 Amazon bestseller. Boom, that night, boom, 1, 2, 3, 6 best-selling books. Boom, 30 online courses. Boom, $10 million a year. Bam, 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 bam. For 17 years, never stopped. Never stopped. If you haven't written it down yet, you forgot how to learn during the pandemic, write it down. Someone to fight for. Who are you fighting for when you wake up in the morning? Because if you don't know, you'll quit when it's small. You'll think small. I love to show this picture. That's the writing table. That's the bed. That's me faking it. She took that picture. 18 days later, that first book was done. 18 days. Not for me, for her. I remember I started doing my events, and I'd have to ask myself every day to motivate myself because I was embarrassed. I wasn't getting traction. Every day, take a picture of this with your phone. I want you to take a picture and I want you to print it out. I want you to put it next to your computer. Not for me, for you. Just put it on your phone because I want you to ask this every day. Every day. Who needs me on my A game today? That means who needs me to be my best today? Is it your mom? Is it your sister? Is it a client who's struggling? Is it somebody in this company who's waiting on you to lead? Who needs you? Why is it necessary? This is called, if you want to dork out on it and read my book, High Performance Habits, we, in high performance studies and coaching, we call this psychological necessity. When it becomes necessary for you to succeed, you do. If it's not necessary, you don't. The problem is, you're the only one who makes it necessary. The world doesn't care about you enough. The world don't see you enough. The world discounts you. You're the only one who will make it necessary for you to succeed, so you have to look at it every day, every day. I look at this when I started. This was my first seminar room. No one ever believes me. I'm like, no, here's the other angle. No, that's the first event I ever did. No, there's me, that's the whole room. I had 20 people. I counted my mom who was there, my sister, and when the guy came in with the water jug, I counted him. And then, this. Everyone always goes, why? I'll tell you why. You saw it. Because every day, who needs me on my A game? I won't do it for myself, but I'll do it for you. I just won't. I don't know why. I could just survive on burritos and long walks. I mean, I'm a simple person. But when I do it for other people, that's where the breakthrough, that's where the millionaire comes from. That's where the person earning 8 figures comes from. That's how the greats are still doing it. Oprah still gets up and thinks about people, not just herself. She could have retired on truffle fries 70 years ago. She said, I'm going. You got to make that decision. The girl who I told you, we just celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary. She believed in me when I didn't believe in me. There's someone in your life who believes in you probably more than you do. And I want to tell you something. You might not have that at home. And that's why I want you to remember, I don't know how you feel about life or God or spirit, serendipity, coincidence. But maybe you traveled all this way to be in Vegas to have this room of people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Can I get an amen on a weekday? Maybe you're supposed to sit next to this person and you didn't even know, so turn the person left or right, shake them and thank them for being here. Grab their shoulders, thank them for being here. Maybe that person to your left or right, that's your accountability partner, and you're gonna go become millionaires together. Maybe the person who recruited you and brought you in, they're in here, and you haven't asked them enough questions. They already know how to succeed. Leaders in this room, can I get a yes? The leaders in this room are phenomenal. The people up on the stage are phenomenal. WFG is showing you these people because they did it. Talk to them, ask them, follow their strategies. You don't need me, you got it in this room. Someone's got your back already. They dressed up for you today. They put on deodorant for you today. Cool. You forget. Don't you dare go home and go, I'm lonely, I'm scared, I'm in this by myself. Don't you ever forget, take a picture of this arena. This is the demarcation line now. This is it. Vegas is it. You lean on your leaders. You learn from them. Do what they say. They already figured out the path. Why are you sitting home silent? Reach out, ask, go. Who's ready to crush it? Let's go. Third thing, you want to get the energy back? Simple metaphor. You can't win the day if you don't feel the day. Everyone talks about win the day, win the day. Well, a lot of people win the day. You know how many successful people I work with who win all the time, who are miserable? They're winning, but they're not feeling it. As you get small wins in life, you gotta integrate those wins into your identity and know that you're a strong person. As you win in life, you gotta make sure you feel and celebrate that day and sense it. I'm a simple guy, so I'll tell you that if you wanna know everything about me, one metaphor. I learned this a long time ago about energy. The power plant, right? Power plants that create all the energy around the world. The power plant doesn't have energy. The power plant actually generates energy. All the engineer geeks, don't worry, I'll qualify. What the power plant does is it transforms and transmits energy. What does that mean? Well, the power plant takes energy from one lower level of utilization, powers it up, transforms it, and then transmits it out. That's your life now. Your job is to take the low level of energy that this world is dishing up, and you power it up. You bring feeling and joy, and you transmit that in the world. You don't wait for the world to turn perfect before you generate the energy of your life. You go now. You gotta feel the day again. Do you know that the world's biggest study on productivity ever of all time found that the highest performing, most successful people in 190 countries around the world, so every culture in the world, the most successful people in the world, they take a break every 50 minutes. 52 was the exact study. Now you think, no, Brendon, I don't need a break every 50 minutes. I'm a Formula One race car. I can go all day. I go, oh, did you ever watch the F1s? What do? The high performance vehicle can go all day, can run the entire race, but it doesn't. It takes the pit stop. The what? It takes the pit stop to refuel, to reset, to recalibrate the performance of the machine. And then it goes, which allows it to go longer, faster. Many of you are burned out. You go all day, no break. No break for water, no break for meditation, no break for yoga, no break to stretch, no break to walk around the house, no break to feel the energy of God, no break at all. You just burn and you burn and you burn. And you know what? You might become successful, but you also become miserable. Do you know why I'm famous in this industry? You might not know it, but ask Ed Milet, who's coming tomorrow. Who's excited about some Ed Milet? Ask Tony, ask Oprah, they'll all say the exact same thing. I'm this annoying in real life. And what I mean by that is, I've been happy every day since God gave me that ticket. I've been happy. Not because it's easy, but because the alternative sounds like it sucks. At some point you go, I'm gonna earn this, I'm gonna build happiness. Leaders in this room, if you're not showing your network that you're happy, that you're living your authentic life, that you're joyous, why would they aspire to get it? Why would anyone follow or be influenced by somebody who's not joyous about this opportunity to serve? Because that's what you guys have. You're not peddling some stupid products here. You're changing families' lives, a ripple effect that will go on for generations when you do your work. You got it? You got to take that seriously. That's someone to fight for, is that ripple effect you get to have. You got to celebrate it and feel it and make it real. Leaders, your number one job right now is to deal with the discouragement in this world and to be the power plant that transforms that low level of doubt, division, discouragement, negativity, pessimism. When people are drowning in pools of pessimism, it takes the leader to pull them up and show them the future, give some optimism, show them your fire again. Some of you leaders, what happens is you get too casual because you're successful, and you think casual will drive. It won't. You gotta lean back in and put that performance edge back. You gotta sparkle with the hunger again for them, not for you. You're good. You got a car, you got a house, you got the kids, you got a yacht, you know how to go to vacations. You bought a suite at the MGM versus the regular room or whatever people do with their money. I don't know. I buy burritos, I already told you. It's nothing fancy. I need you to lean back in, get that hunger and that drive in your eyes, leaders. You've gotta do that to build the field. If you don't have that, if they don't see that you're fired up and the joy is there, the passion is there for them, you won't build. And right now, everyone's trying to be cool and casual. What it really means is they're disengaged. And they want to put on a professional atmosphere of disengagement called casualness. Lean back in. Allow yourself to dork out. Allow yourself to get fired up. Get excited with your spouse and your partner again like you were when you made the first 7 figures. You gotta get there again. That's what's gonna build this thing. Energy. Everyone turn the person left, right. Shake them, say, get the energy. Four. If you can feel the day again, bring the energy again, be the power plant, you gotta honor the struggle. Notice what it does not say. It says honor the struggle. It does not say bemoan the struggle. The world is getting killed by complaint, by people who are complaining about the things they already knew were gonna be there. Do you know what drives me crazy? I'm from Montana. We got a lot of open roads there. I moved to California, down to San Francisco in my 20s. And I went down there and I saw a phenomenon I still don't understand. I met all these people, high achieving people, and they all complained about the commute. Now I worked with the people, we all commuted in, and it was like an hour, hour and a half commute every day. And people get to work, oh, the commute. Every day, oh, the commute. And you know what? Forgive me, but if you know you have to do something all the time, you gotta adjust your attitude to the something, because if the something don't change, you better change. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make prospect calls. I gotta send the email. I gotta do the social media. I gotta do another post. I gotta call him back, he still hasn't closed the deal. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. What you gotta do is you gotta call your field and go, guess what I did? I made the calls. Guess what I did? I did the posts. Guess what I did? I'm still going. That's what you gotta do. You honor the struggle, the difficulties of life, the hardships of life. You honor those as challenges made to build your character, made to ensure that you earn it. Those challenges, those difficulties, those downsets, and trust me, I've had them all. From losing loved ones in my life, to breaking almost every bone in my body, to having the blessing of going up and down in businesses, to having the worst of the worst things that people say on the internet when you have as many views as I got, all that stuff that people come at you for. I never complained about it. Of course, that's gonna come with the territory. It's a challenge of your character. Of course, the kids are gonna drive you absolutely insane. You didn't know that before you had children? You didn't have anyone tell you, you know it's gonna be hard to be a parent. No one said that to you? I can't deal with it, getting around people who just complain about something that's so obvious. So instead, honor it. Take it as a position of honor. I come from a family where my dad did 20 years in the US Marine Corps. Whoop. I'm a military brat. And let me tell you what, honor in our military is something to look up to, because They have this great statement. All those who know the elite fields, they always say the same thing. You have to embrace the suck. When it sucks, embrace it. That's what this is. It's hard, good. That's part of it. That hard is to make you better. Stop bemoaning it. Stop bemoaning it. Honor it. Your next level of success, that's what builds your character. But you don't get to it without the struggle. Stop bemoaning the struggle and celebrate it. Something you endure, you engage with, you persevere for. Successful people, they love the process of hardship. They don't complain about it. Listen to your complaints. Our culture is dominated by complaint right now. I don't believe that there's nothing to complain about. I just realize a lot of complaint isn't gonna help us. Be the problem solver, the solution builder, be the leader, be the person who takes us to another level. That's your job, and then that's the demarcation line. I'm no longer a complainer. I challenge myself to grow. It's like you can't even go back because you hear yourself complaining. You're like, no, that's the small part of me. The big part of me builds. Who's here with me right here? That's it. Last big idea, just a story from last time I was in the desert. At some point, you have to jump all in. Some of you, this is your demarcation line. This is when you go get your license next, you go build next, you get your first clients next, you make this happen. You bring more people in. This is that moment for you. You can come here and take all this time and not go and immerse yourself in this and ask the questions and build, or you go back home and watch a bunch of Netflix. The average person in America, I know we got people from all around, but the average person in America does social media consumption for an hour or two a day. Not creating, consuming. That doesn't count the 4 hours of television they watch in America. Well, 1 hour a day of social media, just consuming dumb stuff, is 7 hours a week. People say I don't have time. I'm like, well, that's a whole work day. 4 of those a month, that's 4 7-hour work days. That's 4 work days gone a month for 1 hour of distraction. Well, over 2 months, that's 8 full work days. Over 3 months, that's 12 full work days. 52 weeks in the year, that's 52 work days gone for 1 hour lost a day of distraction. 52 work days. That's a month and a half. That's basically 2 months. You wanna be more successful? Work 2 more months more every year. Not because you burn out, but because you don't engage with stupid stuff. Can I get an amen on a weekday? You know what I'm saying? The problem is most people are doing 2 hours a day of distraction, which means it's not 52 days, it means it's 100 work days a year. 2 hours of distraction a day, whether it's TV, media, or no focus, 2 hours a day is 100 days a year that could have been work days, or family days, or vacation days, or celebrate your money with burrito days and your friends, whatever it is for you. Please stop giving away your life. Instead, jump all in the thing that you're doing. Allow yourself to be passionate. If everyone says, what's wrong with you? You're obsessed about this. Yeah, I am that committed. Don't apologize for it. Go all in. Whatever you're gonna do, if it's gonna change your family's life. When I saw my future wife sleeping under my bills, every hour writing now, every hour promoting now, every hour building now. From the moment I saw her sleep under my bills to 18 months later, I made $4.8 million. I don't usually tell that to audiences, but I tell you because you get that. No. You understand that. That's life-changing money. That's forever change in 18 months. Because I went all in. It was a hard time. And you know what? After I made it, I kept going. I kept levering it up. Not to burn out, because I still feel it and I enjoy it. You gotta jump all in. The last time I was in the desert on a grand adventure of jumping in, I got some pictures to show you. I got to jump all in with my friends out here in the desert one time. And you could already see the start of the trip together because my friends, they're laughing and I'm like, what are we about to do? It was kind of a surprise. I didn't know we were gonna go skydiving. I was like, what are you talking about? I remember we get in this little plane that has a little hole cut in the back, and we get in the plane and we start flying up. This picture's about 5,000 feet in the air. So we still got another 5,000 feet to go, and that's the fakest smile I have in the world. The guy on my right, he's gonna be the guy who straps to my back and we jump out of the plane. The guy on the left, I don't know, I think he's high. I don't know the guy. And I remember we go up and they keep telling us what we're gonna do. I start panicking, what are we gonna do, what are we doing? And my guy keeps going, don't worry. We're gonna jump out of the plane, and when this watch, the altimeter, when this says 5,000, you pull this little tennis ball and it will deploy the chute and will glide safely to the ground. I'm like, okay. He goes, so Brendon, 5,000, pull. 5,000, pull. Got it, okay, I can do it. Okay, got it. So then we get up the plane, I'm with my friends, it turns, and my friend slides down the bench, gets the thing, and goes out. And I just see him falling to his death. Comes again. My friend gets to the door, falls out. I'm feeling panic. We get to me, he goes, okay, it's our time. And I know what to do. I've been in personal development. It gets to my time, and all of a sudden, we start sliding. I'm feeling nervous, so we start sliding down the thing. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. I'm trying to fire myself up. We get to the door, I feel confident, and he goes, 1. And I look at the door, I'm like, ooh. He goes, 1. I go, no. He goes, 2. I go, no. He goes, 3. I go, no. And he throws me out of this thing. I'm screwed. Ah! And he's sitting there like Buddha. I think he's high. And we start falling 200 miles an hour. I love this picture. You see me screaming through my legs. Looks like I pooped my pants. None of your business. 200 miles an hour, you are falling. It's so loud. It's just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And all of a sudden as we're falling, I freak out because I don't know if you can see it in this picture. Something goes wrong. Do you see it? Let me zoom in. Well, 1, the hair is being ripped from my body, which is wrong. And it's, but then the little strap on my eyeglasses snaps off, which is not a big deal unless you're falling at 180 miles an hour. All of a sudden, I'm screaming, ah! And all of a sudden, I was like, ow, ah! And then it catches wind. I forget what I'm supposed to do. So thank God I had somebody who knew what I was supposed to do, because he starts pointing at the ground. He's screaming, Brendon, Brendon, 5,000. He's pointing at the ground. I'm like, ah! So like a good leader, he goes to show me my altimeter, to show me the 5,000, to get me to pull the thing. And he goes to show me the problem is I'm Gumby, flying around and screaming. And he goes to show me, and he goes, pfft. It don't sound like a lot, but at 180 miles an hour, when your hand hits your face, pff, I was like, oh my God, why did you hit me in the face? Pff, he hits me again. I'm like, oh, okay. So I reach out, I go back to grab that little thing, and I grab it. And I go, okay. He goes, okay. And I pull the thing, goes, well, bam. Like this. I remember my leg going up above my head and coming back down. I was like, I didn't even know I could do that. It's not like the commercial I saw for this. The commercial saw much more easy. You go up, you're laughing with your friends, you jump, and you glide down. This is what they tell you about entrepreneurship. Oh, jump in. It's gonna glide down. Do you know what happens? Here's my commercial from my skydiving experience. You go up, you're nervous. Okay, what do you? 5,000 pull, 5,000 pull. Watch your friends fall to death. Watch your friends fall to death. Watch your friends fall to death. Okay, your turn. Yes, I can do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Whoa, no, no, no. You're floating there. And then he goes, okay, Brendon, as we come down, just remember, you're gonna lift your legs. Okay, yeah. I'm looking around, and you were terrified, but you jumped in, and all of a sudden, you know you did it. You know you're successful. I'm floating there, and all of a sudden, he's like, what? I'm like, he's like, what? I'm like, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, man. And then he goes, okay, Brendon, lift your legs. I go, why? He goes, otherwise you'll break them. Oh, okay. You lift your legs, you land. And then, my friends, after you do it, you get what your friends call that hero shot. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 1 year from now, many of you are gonna come up on this stage because you jumped all in, and it was scary as hell. You're gonna be here because you jumped all into your service to the world, and it was scary, and you screamed, and then it was beautiful because you were there with the person who got your back. Someone's got your back. Someone in this room is gonna serve you. You're gonna go all in together. Is that true? Say, I'm here. We all go all in. We all go all in our service. I recently went all in everything I'm doing in my life for personal development. I called World Financial Group. Ed Milet connected me with your incredible leadership team and said, you know what? We got to give these guys this fire every day. My company, as many of you know, is called Growth Day. Growth Day is the world's #1 app for personal development and success. We got all the greats who teach in there. Ed Milet, we got Wayne Dyer courses, Mel Robbins, Jenna Kutcher, we got Jamie Kernley, we got everybody in there teaching. I hope you take advantage of it. I hope you listen every day. I hope you do the work every day. This is the demarcation line for you. Vegas, here, this time. You get to say from this moment that you go forth, you go in strength, you're all in. It's a difference maker. Vegas 23, WFG. This is your moment to jump all in, leave these doors, and go earn this. Earn it. Earn it.